Sometime back, my daughter Mary gave me a birthday card, and on the cover was the picture of the little yellow bird. I've got that picture on my refrigerator door so that when I pass by, every once in a while I'll pause and wonder what that little bird is thinking, or maybe what the little bird is seeing. My grandson Alex asked me for a story, and I think this story would be appropriate. The little yellow bird had lived in a cage for a very long time. The cage was placed near a window, and the little bird could look through the cage bars and through the window outside and see all the other birds flying, swooping and making circles and catching the wind under their feathers and flying with the sun on their back. And the little bird's heart would flutter, and it would sit straight and wonder what it would be like to be able to do that. Occasionally, a bird would flutter down and perch outside the window and peer in and cock its head to one side as if to ask, "What are you doing in there?" And on those occasions, the little bird's heart would stop, flutter, and he would sag, and he would feel so sad. One day, the owner left the cage door open as he left for work. And the little bird noticed that the door was open, and then he would look outside and see the birds flying, making circles, catching mosquitoes, with the wind under their feathers, the sun on their back. And his little heart began to beat more rapidly as he considered what was going on. And then he noticed that the window to the house had been left open by the cage. And he realized he could leave the cage. And so he considered his options. He looked at the cage, the perch, looked outside, and he considered what could happen. He considered his options, and he considered his options. And he was still considering his options. At the end of the day, when the owner returned, closed the door to the cage, and closed the window. For whatever reasons, the little bird valued its security more than its freedom. I hear that story differently now that I'm 86 than I would have heard it when I was 18 or 40. Now I would like to be able to interview the little bird near the end of its life. And I would like to ask it, did it remember that day? And how did it remember? When the door to the cage door was open, and he had a choice to make. I would ask him how he remembered that. It's just a story. But it's a story that I think somehow is appropriate to any age. Risk, freedom, security. Consider your options. But how long? It's a good question. I think it's a good story. And I thank you for listening.